little morsel of some things that I've heard myself. So, Iktomi, he's there, and he's walking along, and he's really hungry, and he hasn't had anything to eat for ages. And he sees all the prairie chickens flapping about, and he thinks, wouldn't that be nice for a bit of breakfast for me? And so he gets a plan, and he collects buffalo chips from the ground, and he wraps them up in leaves, and he puts them on his back, and he walks past the prairie chickens, pretending that he doesn't care about what they're doing. And they say, "Hey, Iktomi!" And he just ignores them, he just walks on by. And they say, "Hey, hey, Iktomi!" And he just ignores them. He says, "Leave me be, I'm busy." And they say, "Iktomi, please, what have you got there?" And he says, "Okay, well, I have some new songs, and I'm taking them to a neighbouring village, and it's really important that they don't escape, so I've got to keep them wrapped up." And the prairie chickens, they say, "Can we just hear one song? Just one of your songs, one of these special songs?" And Iktomi says, "No, no, no." And they say, "Please," and he says, "No." And eventually he says, "Okay, one song, but so that the song doesn't escape, we will have to build a shelter, and we will have to put up sticks, and we'll have to cover it with leaves, and we'll have to make only a small door. And because there are lots of you, we can do this quickly." So they all go, and they're flapping about, and they're picking up sticks, and they're bringing them back, and he makes a big shelter, and he stands in the doorway, and they're all inside. And he says, "Right, so for this song, you all have to dance with your eyes shut. Otherwise, they will turn red." So, all the prairie chickens are there, they're shutting their eyes, and they're getting ready to dance. And he starts singing this song, "Away and away and away and away and away." And those chickens are dancing away, and they've got their eyes shut. And he's singing, "Away and away and away and away and away and away." And they think, "What's that crashing sound? Away and away and away and away." And eventually one of them opens an eye, and he sees Iktomi is hitting him over the head with a stick, and they're all getting knocked out on the floor. So he says, "All of you, we must escape, we must leave, he's going to kill us all." So they get out, and some of them escape, but most of them, they're there. And Iktomi, he is really pleased. So he gathers them all up, as many of them as he can, and he puts them on his back. He gets rid of the buffalo chips, he doesn't need them anymore. He puts all the prairie chickens on his back, and he sets off, thinking, "I might do a little bit of cooking with these."
Oh.
How are you doing there, Simon?
Is that good?
Do you want a little bit more?
Yes.
Okay, so he's carrying on and he's thinking, "I might cook them." So he digs a big hole in the ground, and he lights a fire, and he makes a fire, and then he covers it up with some earth, and then he puts in some prairie chickens, and he covers it up with earth, and he lights another fire, and he carries on, and he makes the most miraculous way that you could possibly cook a prairie chicken under the ground. And what he does, he just waits, and he leaves it there, but whilst he's doing it, there's a tree overhead, and it's going, and Iktomi, he says, "Please, little brother, can you stop squeaking?" And the tree goes, and Iktomi's getting wound up with it, so he goes over and he tries to pull the branches apart, and the wind changes and he's stuck, and the tree, it doesn't say anything, and he's stuck up here, and all the prairie chickens are there, and he's stuck up in the tree. So then along comes Coyote the Trickster, and he thinks, "Hey Iktomi, that smells really nice." And Iktomi says, "Oh, leave me be, there's nothing here." And Coyote says, "It smells like you're cooking something." And Iktomi says, "No, no, there's no prairie chickens here, I'm not cooking anything. There's no prairie chickens." And Coyote says, "Prairie chickens?" So he's smart, and he digs around, and he finds some of the prairie chickens, and he's so excited, and he's eating them all. And then he's just all full and thinking he's just going to go on his way. And then Iktomi says, "Well, I'm glad he didn't find the other ones." And Coyote says, "There's more?" And he's digging, and he finds the other lad. He's so pleased. And Coyote, he thinks, "Well, I'm quite full, but I can manage a few more." And he eats them all up, and he sticks the bones in the ground, so that Iktomi is not going to know which ones have been eaten. And Coyote wanders off, happy as anything. And as Coyote's heading into the distance, Iktomi, the tree, it releases him, and he comes down, and he says, "Oh, And the tree goes, "Arr!" And then he says, anyone who eats my food will surely die. Thank you.